tentorium cerebelli relates to upper face. The lower leaflet of tentorium cerebelli relates to middle face. So I'm going to find my landmark of where I would be if I were doing the tent hold transversely and just drop down slightly below it so that the fleshy part of my hand is on the spine right at the place of the crook, of the curve, of the dog leg, if you want to call it that. The dog leg procedure. Now, what's that? And then with my other hand, so can you see where I am? Here's tent, right there. Can you see that? So the fleshy part of my thenar eminence to hypothenar eminence is really on fluid column just at the angle of ascent of the soul. Okay? And then pick up your shoulder.
And that's the middle face.
That's the middle face. The middle face. Spinal fluid column junction, right at the angle of that little crook.
Is that where that bump is?
Yeah, the cerebellum's right under there. That's which creates that bump.
Okay.
Right? It's the lower part of the occiput. Now, I'm going to find a place where everything feels good, and all I'm going to do is introduce a little bit. I'm going to follow, and I'm just going to support a little bit of compression. Yeah, I'm creating an energetic magnetism in my hands, so they're sort of being drawn together.
Where is your lower hand?
Roll up this way, please.
Oh.
I happen to be on the upper thoracic spine, probably around T2, T3. I'm about the level of the upper. Roll up again. See this? Roll this way. Okay, roll this way. Right on the midline. The spinous process of her spine is fitting right in the little crook in my hand. Feel the little crease between thenar and hypothenar? So I'm right like that. And Pammy, just take your fingers, just run them down my hand so you see where the spinous, no, like that. Like that. There's where her spinous processes would be sitting. So I'm just resting like that with my fingers aligning, pointing down toward her sacrum. And here's her spine sitting on me.
On your finger pad, so you don't...
No, sitting right there on the fleshy part of my hand. This is really, I'm supporting her with my palm. The contact is principally thenar eminence to hypothenar eminence. So my principal contact would be like that.
So here it'd be like...
Yeah. So roll up again. And I'm putting my hand under, finding that place, and I'm really going shoulder blade to shoulder blade. You know, it's a pretty safe place.
You could call it angle of crook.
Angle of crook. Crook's angle.
I got an angle for you.
I got an angle of crook.
Yeah, really.
Crook's angle. And on the top,
Yes.
sorry, go ahead.
The same question you had.
And what?
No, you go. The top, is it also in the thenar to hypothenar, or is it pads?
Didn't I take a lot of time to describe what my top hand contact
Yes,
was?
you did.
Yeah, but you know, my brain like...
Only can hold so much.
Roll this way. Rest on me. Because it's not a spine, but it's a bowl, right? Look at where my hand's red. Thenar eminence to hypothenar eminence. I'm resting my hand across, fingers on one side, thumb on the other. I'm below the lower leaflet of the tent. Come back on me. Didn't know what you're getting into, did you?
Does it matter where your fingers are?
My fingers aren't anywhere. Take a look.
That's what I mean. Does it matter? They're just shaping.
Get up and look around. My fingers aren't touching her head. Look, there's my thumb. Come to the other
I
side.
saw it from the other side. That's what I was thinking.
My fingers are not even touching. I'm just, take the tension on my fingers and they're going to just lightly curl. They're really not even touching her head. Now what we start to feel immediately is a fluid compression. What's a compression but a vector, right? So all I'm going to do is start to match the vector. It's going to be a hot day today, isn't it?
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. Hot's not bad. Says the one who lives in Phoenix, right? But it's dry heat.
Dry heat, baby. I'm a lizard. I love it.
Stephen, the compression you're doing, is it just
Maybe, yeah.
energetic?
Good time for a swim.
Well, what I was saying before was you start with an energetic compression. Like any compression, we begin energetically, and we do whatever we have to. Are compressions only energetic? No. Therefore, is our deciding that we're going to only be energetic a viable way of supporting them?
No, I'm just trying to really feel what you're doing. It doesn't feel like you're moving much.
It just doesn't look like I'm moving much.
Okay, so you're actually bringing your hands towards each other.
Energetically, right now, is managing 90% of the compression. So I'm going to add the tiniest insinuation of a fluid compression.
Would that be a teeny weeny bit?
Teeny weeny bit.
Teeny weeny bit?
Just a teeny weeny,
How's that feel?
just a teeny weeny bit. Your head is perfect. Length for this. Perfect. Oh, never really.
And what's really there going to it. Even though we think we're working with the spine, we're working with some compressive component of the vertebral column, fluid body. Guess what happens when we engage them and start to shine a light in them? They come to the surface.
They get emotional.
And they have an emotional response. Yeah, Malou's Now, we talked a little, I mentioned briefly about female space in passing. Do you see how the elevator just went down about 8 notches? When she starts treating middle face, she starts breathing at an entirely different frequency rate. She's in long tide. Just by virtue of now we're engaging the seam. And every seam in the body gets engaged. Breathe in really nicely. Right now. Yeah, that was the first time I think so. Come on.